Good morning, guys. For those of you who would like to boost your immune system, like me, go to Alaska Chaga in the description box and click on Alaska Chaga. You'll get 10% off and free freight. And then for those of you who would like to help our veterans, go to Hero Soap Company. And they are owned by vets and they give part of their profits to veterans down on their luck. And then if you'd like to learn more about CBD oil, go to martinbrodellcbd.com. You can help support the channel as well as help your own health. And then for those of you who have lost your job or you're looking for a new career opportunity, you want a chance to sell CBD oil and have your own business, send me an email. My email address is in the description box, and I will send you the name and the phone number of the individual to get a hold of. And her and her sisters have been quite successful working with this company, and they support President Trump as well. Let's go ahead and dig into some of the news here. So MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell explains how he once bought a car for an employee he discovered was walking 14 miles to work in an interview the mainstream media doesn't want you to see. And you know, President Trump, he's been very magnanimous before for people who have helped him. He's very loyal. And anyway, it says it's Good Friday, and it seems like the perfect time to talk about crucifixions. For many, the word crucify conjures up an image of Jesus Christ, who made the ultimate sacrifice for our eternal salvation when he was flogged, mocked, humiliated, and nailed to a cross. And anyway, so for Christians around the world, Good Friday represents a day of pain and suffering, a day when the Son of God was abused, scorned, and put to death because those who didn't believe he was the Son of God feared him, and the only way to calm to their fears was to kill him. In their decision to crucify Christ, they fulfilled multiple prophecies. The crucifixion of Jesus was foretold in Psalm 22:16 through 18. Approximately 1,000 years before Christ was born, and long before this execution method was even practiced. So, moving on to Mike Lindell, a former alcoholic and crack addict, a born-again Christian, who turned his life around to become the owner and successful CEO of the multi-million-dollar American-made MyPillow company. And you would think the Democrats would love a story like this. Wow. But no, that's not what they stand for. Anyway, that's not what they like. Anyway, so is living a breathing example of Christ's redemption. He is also one of the top targets of the Democrat Party's mainstream media, a small group of narrow-minded people who, with big megaphones, who enjoy special treatment from big tech oligarchs who help spread their propaganda on social media. And anyway, so he explains how he helped, how he bought a car. It says, in our interview with Mike, we discuss how he believes the people who work for MyPillow, they're not just employees, they're family. Mr. Lindell explained how he and his company go to great lengths to make sure his employees know they are loved and they will be taken care of when they work for him. He told us a story about how one of his employees, who was never late, started to come into work late. When someone at MyPillow looked into why he was suddenly running late for work, they discovered his car had broken down and he was walking 14 miles each way to work and back. Mike jumped into action, purchased him a vehicle. You know, so why don't they ever want to talk about anything good news, any good news? They never discuss any good news, the mainstream media. You know, I mean, what a heartwarming story. Moving on to, let's go to Zero Hedge here. So Suez Canal logjam ends. Last ships expected to transit today. And my guess is a lot of those ships have been searched. Nord Stream 2 warns of security risks from warships and low-flying planes. At least 3 killed, 4 injured in North Carolina mass shooting. It's at least the 5th mass shooting to rock the U.S. since states started relaxing the lockdown restrictions. Wow. Wow. You know, people, oh man, may they rest in peace. People are just going crazy out there. And then let's go ahead and dig into it a little bit here. It says, for the second week in a row, mass shooting has been reported in the U.S. on a Friday night, once an unusual time for these types of tragedies. And let's see what happened here. But last night in Wilmington, North Carolina, 3 people were killed and 4 were injured during a shooting that apparently took place at the site of a house party, according to ABC News, which spoke with Lieutenant Leslie Irving, the watch commander at the Wilmington Police Department. The scene of the shooting remains an active investigation. Man, you know, you just ask yourself, what is wrong with these people? Good grief. And it's like, you know, is it a coincidence that all of a sudden we have mass shootings? I don't think so. There's something else going on. For sure, I don't believe in coincidences. Russia warns NATO against sending any troops to Ukraine as frightening escalation looms. And as we know, the deep state would love to have a war with Russia. They don't want a war with anybody. And then Sweden scraps Bill Gates' geoengineering plot to block the sun. You know, Bill Gates, you don't have anything better to do than trying to think of ways to block the sun? How about fixing your crappy engine, your software? How about that one? And then how close is the UK to herd immunity? It says there isn't too much further to go before the 60% mark. Consider the minimum level required is reached. And I would say probably herd immunity has been reached all over. And then European Union, from a single market to a tragic farce. It says EU elites are weak, cowardly, because they know they do not represent anyone in the true democratic sense of the word. They don't. These people have not been getting elected. They've been selected. They've been getting put in because of the software. And then Noah X, capital stabber, identified as Indiana man who followed Nation of Islam. Tesla, Musk, and the EV revolution. You know, I could be wrong, but I think we're going to see a source of energy that's going to outdo electricity. It's just going to be a phenomenal thing. And it'll be used in cars, trucks, homes, everything. And then stand up to tyranny. How to respond to the evils of rage. You know, you don't have to, standing up to tyranny, you don't have to do it violently. You can do it very peacefully. All you got to do is just walk around without the diaper. You can do, I mean, there's all kinds of very peaceful things you can do. And then what else here? Visualizing the richest families in America. And there are good rich people, but there's a lot of bad rich people too, especially at the international scene. And then U.S. Army seeks long-range missiles in Pacific to face China. I don't think that's going to happen. Not going to happen. We're not going to have, once Trump and them come back in, we're not going to have any more wars. We're not going to have the threat of any more wars. Let's see here. Find of the century. Rare 1955 Porsche 550 Spider found in shipping container. It's been a surreal experience indeed. I'm not only honored to say I was part of the discovery. Oh my goodness. Yeah, quite a find. And then the pending collapse of the rules-based international order is an existential threat to the U.S. You know something? They're going to go bye-bye. And they know it. Nobody wants them. And then Viagra may also lengthen a man's lifespan. Swedish study finds the protection was dose dependent, so that the more frequent the dose of PDE3 inhibitor, the lower the risk. Wow, interesting. And for those of you who don't know, Viagra was at first a heart medication. That's what it was being tested for. And then FBI gun background checks soared to record high in March amid the gun control push. It says nearly 4.7 million checks were done across the month, and smashing the previous record of 4.3. Let's see here. Americans' vaccination cards may be only record of COVID immunity, so keep them safe, they say. Biden infrastructure bill includes $20 billion to destroy highways for being racist. And administration claims long-standing and persistent racial injustice in infrastructure. Good grief. And you know, this infrastructure bill, it's anything but infrastructure. It has nothing. It's all about the Green Deal. Manhattan office supply skyrockets to 3-decade high. And abundant short and long-term options are driving price reductions. India's experiments with the virus here. It says all flights, trains, after 167 years of continual operation and road transportation came to a complete shrieking halt. Tens of millions of people, myself included, got stuck wherever they were. Wow. Anyway, that is all for now. I want to thank all of you for your support. It is very much appreciated. God bless you all and have a good day. Bye-bye, guys.